So in this next video, we're going to start adding in checkboxes. So we have that list of text boxes we've added in, and now we're going to add in some checkboxes for the images that the user could potentially be purchasing. So this is what our checkbox will look like. It says select the type of picture or pictures that you are interested in purchasing, and then has the 3 different pictures that are available. So something to recall with checkboxes, excuse me, are that you can actually select more than one. So they could select all 3, they could select none, or they could select one. It's not limited to just one choice. It depends on what the purpose of the form is. But this particular set of choices, they don't need to select just one. They could select more if they chose. So for checkboxes, we're going to have the same general format for each of them. So each checkbox is going to have a name, it's going to have a type, and it's going to have a value. So this is different than the text boxes that we just did. Checkboxes actually have a value associated with them, and I'll explain why in just a second. So to start, I do want to pop back here, and we're actually going to add in that paragraph code that simply says, select the types of picture or pictures that you are interested in purchasing, and then close off that paragraph. Okay. And then from here, I'm going to open up a set of paragraph tags, and this is where I'm going to put my checkboxes. And inside of here, I'm going to have a checkbox followed by crosshatch, a checkbox followed by full color, and a checkbox followed by ink wash. So here I'm going to write crosshatch. So I have my text, and I'm actually going to put my input tag before it, because this is where I'm actually putting the checkbox. So notice how I'm putting the tag before the crosshatch because I want the checkbox to appear there. Now, for the name, I'm going to select the name of pick type because this is the picture type that the user is selecting. So I'm calling it pick type as its name. And then from here, I'm going to give it a type of checkbox. And then I'm going to give it a value of cross. And at first when students see this, they get a little confused of why I have to give it a value. But I want to talk through how we create the next few checkboxes. So here, I'm actually going to press enter. I'm going to type in full color because that is the next checkbox option I'll be creating. And here I'm going to use an input tag as well. And here, the name of my checkbox is going to be pick type again, because it's a picture type that I'm selecting. It's going to be a checkbox as its type to create a checkbox. And here the value is going to be full. And what I want you to note here is that for checkboxes, if they're connected, checkboxes that are connected have the same name. They have the same type. So we're saying create a checkbox. It's going to be linked to the picture type that the user is selecting. So what makes these checkboxes different is their value, whether you're selecting a cross value or a full value. And then from here, if we press enter again, we have input name equals pick type. Type is equal to checkbox. The value is equal to ink. Then I write ink wash. So here, if I now run my program in Chrome, you will see I have my checkboxes next to those words. And again, noting that if you want checkboxes to be connected because they are the same named checkbox, they are all having the same purpose. You give them all the same name, you give them all the same type, and you differ them in their values. And that way, when these name value pairs get sent to their email address, it will say pick type, the name paired with the value of cross if they choose the cross picture, pick type, ink if they choose the ink picture, etc., etc. So checkboxes aren't hard, but you have to be very purposeful with your naming and your values that go along with them. So you should now have those added into your program. So as I talked here and as is noted in your PowerPoints, it says these checkboxes are all connected by the same name. If they had more than one set of checkboxes, each group would need its own unique name. So here, these checkboxes are all connected by the name pick type. That's how we create multiple groups of checkboxes. And then it says these checkboxes are then distinguished by their value. They have a unique value, and that is how we know what was selected. In addition, they're each followed by text so that their text after the box tells the user what the box is for. And that's why we have the boxes paired very carefully with the text that comes after it. Now, the next piece that we're going to add is called a selection menu, and this is where they can choose a different credit card type. So here they can choose Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, and you can see that here, and then it's followed by a couple of text boxes that we'll be adding in as well. So something to remember about a selection menu is that we can use its own tag. So there's no input tag used here. It's the select tag instead. So notice I'm using the input tag, but something to also notice is that the select tag still has name. So this is how we have name value pairs. It'll be the name followed by then the value underneath the option. So here we have a select tag with a name of menu name. And then we're going to add in the different options that we want displayed in our drop-down menu. So as you can see kind of here, you have your first option, your second option, and your third option, all surrounded by option tags. And those are the choices that will actually appear in the selection menu. And here, since the size isn't indicated, only one item will display at a time. So here, if we go back to here, I'm actually going to change this name to be payment because that's really what our selection menu is for. And then I'm going to have an option tag that opens and closes. And inside of here, my first option is going to be Visa. I'm going to copy that. My second option is going to be MasterCard. My third option is going to be American Express. So from here, if I save where I'm at and I run my program, you can now see this drop-down menu here. And when I open it up, what is currently selected is highlighted. You can see that your selection menu is up and working. So a couple of things as we move forward, if you want to use these a little bit more advanced. It says using various attributes, you can set the selection menu to display multiple choices or only one. You can also make your drop-down list or have a scroll through list, and you can have pre-selected default choices. So for example, here you have just one option that's displayed. That's what we currently have in our program. But if you change the size, so here if we did size equals 2, we saved it, you'd now see that 2 are displayed with a scroll bar along the side. We could also do size equals 3, save it, and then you'll see all 3 of them are displayed along the side. The other option that you can have is that you can actually display or select multiples at once. So you can do multiple as your attribute. Something to notice about multiple is that multiple is a lot like the resize. And that multiple actually just is a word. It's not multiple equals yes or multiple equals no. And here, if you run this, here, if you just select control, you can actually select multiple options now from your list. Then from here, the last thing you can do is you can actually put selected inside of an option. So if you want something to start off as what's selected, so for example, if I wanted American Express to start off selected, I could just write selected there, save it, and now when I run it in Chrome, it will automatically start off American Express being selected. So at this point, you should now be able to not only add text boxes, but check boxes and selection menus as well.